know, it just won't work when the phone is in the wrong orientation, guys. You can't see anything that way. So let me double check here and see what we got going. Just a minute. All right, just a second, and let us see what we have. Oh, yes, so that's a much more better. Hopefully everyone will get back over here in just a second. So I'm going to stall by talking for a half a second. Hey, Amy. Yeah, it was weird because it changed and then it changed back as I was turning the phone. So I don't know. Very, very weird. Hey, Angie, thank you guys for coming back. I appreciate you. Hey, Melissa. Hi, Marva and Sandra. And Ginger, thank you so much for coming, y'all. I hope you're having a great weekend. We got back a little bit ago from the birthday party. It was a princess-themed party, and it was quite cute. I confess I indulged myself and posted some photos of it for tomorrow's blog. Finn gave up his spot for me. So, wanted to make a quick schedule note before we get started. I am headed to backstage on Monday. Hopefully, please let the flights work. Would be awesome. So, I will not be doing any Zoom the Craft Room meetings next week. So, neither Monday nor Thursday will have a Zoom the Craft Room. And I will not be live at 1 p.m. on the 13th. Okay, in theory, I'll be flying home. So, sorry about that. Our next live video will be a week from today on the 13th, 14th, the 15th of November. Alrighty, so you can take a screenshot of that, and that way you'll have all those notes. Hello. I know, Beth, it was terrible. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going crazy. It's going crazy. I appreciate you sticking with me, though. Hey, Sherry. All right, so let's put that away. Here's our card that we're going to make tonight. I'm calling this a clean and simple fun fold, which is kind of an oxymoron, except that the fun fold is a book fold card. And to be quite honest, this is so stinking easy. I almost can't even call it a fun fold with a straight face. It's too much like just making a regular card. So you call it a fun fold, tell all your friends it's a fun fold, and they'll be impressed, but we're the only ones who have to know how easy it is. I used the Beautiful Patterns embossing folder, which is amazing. It's one of the new online exclusives this month. And I borrowed a sentiment or two, and that, my beautiful favorite pine bough right there from Seasonal Tags. And then we've got some Peace on Earth, a sentiment, and a couple of die cuts. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This is a case of a card that we did, that Karen Zenzakovic brought to us for our retreat last week, or 2 weeks ago now, I guess it was. And this is the card that I really loved. So I kind of cased the DSP, the matting, and the white. So one thing to know about casing is it doesn't have to be an exact copy. I call this a case because I've taken many, many elements from this card and incorporated them into my card. And to me, that makes it a good case. So I've got the colors, I've got the doves, I've got the sentiment, I've got the glimmer paper and the silver. So for me, done. It's a case. So don't be afraid to use ideas and elements from another card to make something just a little bit different. All right. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. I did love your card. It was one of my favorites. All right. All of this will be on my blog tomorrow, so you don't even have to take notes or nothing. The first thing we're going to do is get our trimmer out, and I am going to create the book fold. Okay, this is why I don't call this a fun fold anymore, because it's too easy. I don't even have to take notes, which now means for sure I'm going to score this in the wrong spot. I cannot believe I was so confident. Okay, so let's just take this a step at a time so I don't screw up. All right, so it's 4 1/4 by 11. My first score is going to be at 5 1/2. Seems pretty normal, right? That's where you would make for a 10th fold card on a 4 1/4 by 11. But the second fold is what's going to create the book fold piece, and that is going to be at 6 3/4. And that's it right there. I'm going to fold those in the direction that we need. The first one is going to be the 5 1/2 inch fold, and it is going to go in. So call it a valley because that makes sense. And that would be normal, right? That's just a normal fold. Then take the other fold, the 6 3/4, and you're going to go in the opposite direction. Okay, so if you look at it from the top, that's what it looks like. Here's where the magic happens. Hello, Diane from the UK. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Now, to make this a book fold, we're going to put an adhesive. I like liquid glue because it squishes around. If you prefer tear and tape, you can certainly do that. You could even use Stamp and Seal if you preferred. I like the little bit of extra adhesive bump that I get from liquid glue and the fact that it kind of smushes around. But I feel like this little bottle might be getting towards the end. So you can see I'm just putting the liquid glue on that section right there, and then you just fold it down like so. Give it a little pressity press. And that, my friends, is just how easy this fun fold is. Boom. What that gives you, what I think is fun about it, is now it gives you a square. I have got ink glue on my finger there. It gives you a square palette. If you're ever playing with a sketch that calls for a square, I kind of squint my eyes and go, well, look, this panel is square. That works, right? I think it does. Okay, so the inner liner is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, as is the card front. Okay, I have embossed this already in the beautiful pattern embossing folder, which is really a cool folder. Can you see how pretty that is? I think you can see it. I'm holding it up right now. It's just taking a second. There you go. You can see how pretty that is. All right. So I'm going to adhere that to this card front as well, also with liquid glue. Now, I didn't look it up. The Peace on Earth bundle is currently unavailable, but the fact that it says unavailable in the online store is what will be your clue to know that it's coming back. I did not look for you guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't look to see when it's coming back, and now I feel bad about it. Okay, you guys are going to have to make a design choice for me, okay? On this sample, for my sentiment panel, the sentiment is 1 1/8 by 4 1/8, and I stamped the sentiment, and then I adhered a piece of Peaceful Garden glimmer paper. This is called gray. To me, it reads as very dark blue, but technically it's gray. But the strip that I used on this card was 1 1/4 inches. Or no, I'm sorry. That is not 1 1/4 inches. I don't care what kind of ruler you're using. No, that is 1/4 inch. So on this one, I'm not sure I love it. So I was thinking about doing 1/8 of an inch. So what do you guys think about that with the sentiment versus the 1/4 inch? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this aside while I do a little bit of symbolizing for the card front, and then we can decide on the sentiment after you tell me which one you like better. Okay, so the question is 1/8 inch strip or 1/4 inch strip for this card. Okay, now I have done a little bit of pre-cutting. I have used the Stylish Shapes dies, and I've made a couple of mats. Everything is double matted here. So let's talk about what we did. This is the gray that looks like blue. And for that one, I've used the next to largest circle Stylish Shapes dies. All right. The next layer is silver foil. And for that, I pulled out my 2 3/8 inch circle punch. Okay. So that's going to be the middle layer. And then for my DSP layer, I chose a different design than Karen used because this worked better with what I was doing on my card. But I've used the next smallest Stylish Shapes circle. So this is the second from the largest. All right, and we're just going to adhere those all together with liquid glue. All right, and let's get these out the way because we don't need them quite yet. So let's just do a little adhering. I'm seeing 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. All right. So far, bigger is better. More glitter is always better. I feel you, Judy. I feel you. All right. Now, liquid glue does work pretty good on the glimmer paper. unlike our old glitter paper, which just, oh my goodness, the things we used to do to try to adhere and use a glitter paper, not glimmer, glitter. Um, we used to punch a hole in the center. We'd punch a hole in the center and then adhere the, like, it looked like a donut to our card front, and then we could use a dimensional to adhere the next layer so that it wasn't trying to be adhered to the glitter paper. It was crazy. But the glimmer paper will work as a recipient with the liquid glue for sure. Okay. And then we'll add this final layer also with liquid glue. Hello, Leslie from the Outback. Thank you so much for joining. It must be pretty early there maybe, huh? All right, so we're going to put that on like so. All right, I am getting overwhelmingly, oh, we have one person who preferred the 1/8, but pretty much overwhelmingly we're looking at wanting to use the 1/4 inch strip. So I will yield to that. All right, and we're going to put these on. Now, I can tell you, it's up to you whether you think these stars have a direction. I kind of think they do, so I'm going to try to put them in the direction I think is up and down when I put them on. I may not be successful because I may bork it, but I'm going to try, okay? I'm going to try. And I'm going to use dimensionals to put these on. There's not a lot of dimensionals on this card, but there are a few. All right. I feel like if I make a card that doesn't have dimensionals, have I really made a card? This is what I don't know. All right. So it does not matter. These are both the same. So, hey, Faith, I appreciate you coming. Hello, Linda from Idaho. So I am going to adhere these to my card front. Okay, now let's see. What did I say was up? Okay, that looks like up. You can kind of tell. I'll show you what I'm looking at, and you can tell me if I'm just crazy. But see those stars? I see that arm right there is the longest, and to me, that needs to go up and down. So, you know, if you don't get it like that, it probably won't matter, but, you know, for me, I need it to be up and down. So there's that. And then we'll do this next one. You can notice on this next one for sure, I kept the dimensionals towards the inside of the circle because I have an overlap. Let me find my circles. Okay, there's the star with the arms going up and down. Okay, there we go. Like so. Okay, boom. Boom, chakalaka. Boom. 10:45. Oh, that's not too bad. Good. Okay, so now for my little dovies, oh dovey, I'm going to adhere them like so. And this guy's going to be like right about there, about like that. Yeah, I think that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use liquid glue and adhere them to the circles, and then I'm going to slide a couple of dimensionals underneath it. Does that make sense? Because I'm not exactly sure where I want the dimensionals to be, and so it's easier to slide them up under there afterwards. All right, so let's put him, he's mostly on this circle. I don't want him extending past the end of my card base, so we'll make sure he gets where he's supposed to be. There you go, stay right there. Good, Dovey. Good, Dovey. Every time I say Dovey, I now think of Thurston Howell III saying, Lovey, my little Lovey. I don't know. I always thought she was definitely with him for the money, but that's just me. I could have been wrong. Okay, so I'm just adhering him, but that's not very much adheration. You know what I mean? Adheration. That's not a word. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide some dimensionals underneath his little tail, like that. And then another one. Sometimes it helps you if you sing your directions, like that. Okay, that's good. All right, and one more. I'm going to put one more right there on his little trailing edge winglets. Hey, Julie from Ohio. Appreciate you coming. Hello, Trudy. Thank you for joining. And let's see. Let's just slide that right under there like that. There we go. Okay. And you know what I'm going to do, since I think I can keep it in the... Man, I have done the world's crappiest job aligning this. Could I get any more unstraight? I mean, seriously, could I get any more unstraight? There we go. Let's see if we can straighten that out. Just a smidgen. Just a smidgy of a smidgen. A little tiny bitty smidgen. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to adhere these little 6 stars. This star die is one of the dies. This, you get 3 every time you cut. So I did it twice to get 6, and I'm going to put 3 on each of the circles. That just seemed like a good number to me. So let's go ahead and use a little bit of liquid glue. Hey, Karen from Florida. Appreciate you coming. The party was good weather. We had good weather for the party for like the first hour. And they had a jumpy house, with a unicorn jumpy house. And the kids really loved that. So we had all these little princesses. They were the Disney princesses. A lot of Elsas. Apparently Elsa's very popular. There was somebody wearing... Okay, so somebody who has kids or grandkids... I don't know who the princess is who wears the yellow dress. Apparently all the princesses wear the same dress, like most of the time. Or it's like their signature dress. So you were supposed to be able to know what the different princesses were based on the dress they were wearing. So I don't know who the yellow dress person... Belle. There, that's it. Belle. Belle is the yellow dress girl. And I think there was a Jasmine who I think is from Aladdin. She had... like Aladdin pants on, you know, those Aladdin pants. I don't know what they're called, but she had them on. All right, gonna do these 3 as well. And the Aladdin princess had a very, very long purple braid. So I don't know that I saw any Rapunzels. In fact, I'm gonna say most of them were Elsa's or random princesses that I didn't recognize at all. Okay, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and do our sentiment before we get too much further with like embellishments and stuff. So y'all told me you want the 1/4 inch piece, so that's what we're going to do. Now, when I am trying to go end to end on something, regardless of how long it is. Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Okay, there you go. Snow White wears a yellow dress. Oh. See, I thought she wore white with a black, like a black vesty thing on, or corset, like that. All right, so what I do is I make my piece longer than I need, because that way it's always the right length exactly. So I'm just going to adhere that, and I'm not going right to the edge. I'm just lining it up with the edge. See how I kept it away? We need a little more glue down here. Didn't go quite far enough, did I? Just make sure that's still lined up. Okay. And now I'm going to make sure I get a nice straight sentiment before I bother trimming that off. I don't know. I don't even know. I just don't. The only one... Oh, wait. There was also an Ariel, because I saw one little mermaid girl. There was a mermaid, so I'm pretty sure that's Ariel. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to stamp Peace, Love, and Joy from the Peace on Earth set. And I am just splitting the difference between this top and the top edge of the sentiment. Okay, everybody, or the strip. Everybody hold your breath. Let's see if I can make it straight and centered. I want both of those things. Yeah, I think that works. Good. Okay, now put this away before I make a terrible, terrible mess. All right. Hello, Anne from Washington. Thank you for joining. All righty. Now, you know what, Susan? The Try a Sketch on Tuesday challenge showed the sentiment like this, but I interpreted it to become a book fold. Because when I looked at the sketch, I saw a book fold. So that's how it came to be there. Now, to get rid of this, I'm just going to take my scissors, my little snippets, and give it a little cut right there. And a little cut right here. See, that way it's the same, it's the correct length each time. Now this is going to be adhered with liquid glue. Thank you, Judy. I appreciate you checking. November 24th. It's the dies that are out. Okay, that makes sense. But November 24th, if you're paying attention to when Thanksgiving is, it's right around the corner, y'all. It'll be back before you know it. So I'm just putting this on here, kind of centering it up between the crease of the book fold and the edge of the card, and then centered top to bottom, just like that. Okay. Now, to finish off, I'm going to add one of my favorite embellishments, some more of this. I need some little ones. The snowflake, faceted snowflakes. I just really, really love these. I hope they last a very long time. And the clear ones seemed like the appropriate choice for this card, since neither Pretty Peacock nor Cherry Cobbler. Although, you know, I could have maybe done the Cherry Cobbler. That might have been a fun pop. But I don't think so. I like the clear, my own self. Okay. And we'll put a couple up here. Now, yes, I know that I have an even number, but I kind of delineated the top portion with the bottom, so I've got 3 and 3. So a little bit of design license there. All right, and there is our card front. Oh, I do love it. Oh, wait, I didn't put any dimensionals under there. Wait a minute. I got to give him a little support. Look, he's really, woo, not good. He's like, help me. I am not adhered, Miss Mary. Please put some dimensionals under my wingies. I need dimensionals under my wingies. There we go. All right. Port St. Lucie, my friend of mine who was, and still is occasionally, my dental hygienist goes down to Port St. Lucie. All right, so there is the card front. Now, on the inside, remember I had, again, a 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. I'm using the seasonal tags stamps. And what we're going to do is stamp Happy Christmas. And it's going to be kind of overlappy. So, you know, that's a technical term, overlappy. And I'm going to stamp Happy first. It's a 2-step. Sorry, I bumped the camera there, guys. My bad. Here it comes. It's going to be. Okay. Now, I'm using Secret C. And I'm going to stand up so I can make sure I'm kind of straight. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to take Christmas, and I'm going to put the T of the Christmas kind of right in the loop of the Y, like that. Yes, I like it. All right. Now, I wanted this little guy right here, which is like the world's cutest pine bough. And I want it stamped right over the top. But if you do that in full strength Secret C, it's not going to be good. So I stamped it off once and then right over the top. Just like that. Oh, so cute. Now, while I have him out, let's go ahead and do the envelope right quick. And there's no reason to have it be a lighter color, like because you're trying to be able to see a sentiment, but I kind of wanted to stick with the theme, so I stamped it off once and stamped it on the front of the envelope. I know, Secret C is the best color ever. I hope that whenever we have a color refresh that it comes back as a permanent fixture, because I just love it. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, I don't quite get it. It's neither black nor blue, but it's perfect. Do you remember way back when we were trying to decide what the colors were? We thought it was green. It looked, all the colors that we could see on the computers, I certainly thought it was green until we saw it in real life. And then it's like, oh, wow, that be's a blue color. That is not green at all. No, that is not green at all. All right. And then we'll just put that on like so. And I got a little bit of something going on right there. So let me pull out. There we go. Okay, so there's our card. All I need to do now is put a little bit of DSP on the envelope flap, and we'll be done ski. And you know, I think you guys are right. The 1/4 inch works there, doesn't it? That it needed that extra little bump, I think. Yep. Favorite color of all time. I am willing to go with you there, Cheryl. I really, I mean, I have some other favorites, but I really, really, really do like Secrecy a lot. All right, and then we'll just do this quick fussy cut, which is not at all fussy, but I mean it is a cut, so it kind of counts. There we go. All right, so there you have it. A fun fold by any other name would just be a regular old fold. Christmas card for you. And using the Peace on Earth bundle and seasonal tags. The seasonal tag set, this one is really a sleeper because it's just a stamp set. There's no dies with it, but it's got mix and match sentiments for the holidays that I really love. And it also has the opportunity to make gift tags. So I think seasonal tags, which is in the mini catalog, needs to be on your shelf. That's just me. Okay, guys, so last time I'm live until again on the 15th of November. I hope you'll be back and enjoy your week. So thanks so much for spending part of your weekend with me. See you guys. Ta.